So this is the 5th movie that Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg have done together now. And it all started with Lone Survivor, which I thought was really good. The next 2 movies were also really good, and they had a winning formula going. Berg directed, Wahlberg starred in them, and the stories were based on true events. Now, they weren't phenomenal movies, but they were really solid and fun, entertaining movies. But then with Mile 22 they decided to deviate from that formula, because the story was completely fictional. And while there were definitely things I liked about it, it wasn't that good as a whole. And one of the issues was the central character and the fact that it was missing a bit of that, I don't know exactly what to call it, humanity I guess, something to make it compelling, which the previous 3 movies definitely had. Now with this one they stuck with a fictional story. However, they did bring a bit of that humanity back to it with a really solid and likable main character. He's not a superhero, he's just a guy, a former cop who's getting out of prison. And the reason for him being in prison is something that makes him likable. You're instantly on his side, and that immediately made me like this movie. Add to that the fact that he's very much down on his luck. He seems like a nice guy. He temporarily lives with an old friend and has an old aging pet he's very fond of. It's all just there to make him more endearing as a character and to make him feel more down to earth. And I liked that. I also liked the fact that he constantly gets beat up, and I mean constantly. As I said, he's no superhero. He comes out of altercations on the losing side more often than not. Which again just makes him seem way more like an everyday kind of guy than an action hero. Although to be fair, no regular human being could take the kind of beatings he takes on a normal Thursday afternoon. Which I guess brings me to the actual story here, which was okay enough. It's not anything mind-blowing, but it works, and we follow this guy as he, how should I put it, he is compelled to get wrapped up in something that he should stay out of. And it's basically a story about murder, drugs and crooked cops, which usually makes for a fun story. And it does that here as well, because at the end of the day I found this to be pretty entertaining. It's no masterpiece and I wouldn't say I loved it, but it's a step up from Mile 22. It's also pretty funny, there are a lot of chuckle-worthy moments in it. But I wouldn't call it hilarious, but on the other hand it did strike a good balance between the action and the comedy. I also thought the pacing overall was pretty good. It never felt like it dragged and it just kept chugging along at a very steady clip. Never really slowing down very much at all, and it just kept finding ways to keep it interesting. And yeah, I still think Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg make for a really good team. And if they could find some really good stories instead of just decent ones, they could end up making many more movies that I would gladly watch. Not that I'm against them making movies like this either, but I know they can do better. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one, so how about it? Would I recommend it? Sure, why not? If you're just looking for a fun, entertaining movie, you can do worse than this. So, maybe check it out, maybe don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.